All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Simple Scrapper Live. My name is Jennifer Wilson, and I am your guide here at Simple Scrapper. And I am so thrilled for all of you that are joining me here today live, as well as those who are watching on the replay. If you are watching this live on Facebook or on YouTube, I want to encourage you to click over to the Crowdcast link where you can join us in our live classroom. We've got a chat room going, and there's a big red button where you can ask questions. I do these shows every single week at 1 p.m. Simple Scrapper Live is our special opportunity to connect, to dig a little bit deeper on a lot of specific topics, sharing both the things that I do in my memory keeping as well as the things that I recommend that you do as a simple scrapbooker. If you are new to the Simple Scrapper community, we're all about helping you find your perfect fit in this hobby, helping you discover what works best for you at the intersection of what fills you up and what fits your life. Because the best way for scrapbooking to be more fun, to be more simple, to be more easy, is to make sure that you're keeping it practical and really honing in on the things that are your strengths and the things that work best for you. We have a membership program and a lot of fun events all throughout our community, and a little bit later I'll be telling you about one of our free challenges that is back after a brief hiatus. So today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter than last week's if you tuned in last week, and when you can check out that replay via our Crowdcast page. It was our hour-long summer planning day, but today is going to be about 15 minutes, and I want to talk to you about backing up your photos. If you had read my email today, I talked about the sad story of when a Diet Sprite killed my first laptop. It was a total accident. I was working and my pop spilled all over the keyboard of my laptop and killed the motherboard. But fortunately, my data was recoverable. Everything else was destroyed, but my data was recoverable, and I didn't lose all of my digital photos. Because at that time, I wasn't backed up. I would have lost my entire master's thesis. I would have lost all of my files if they had not been able to recover it. So I am very grateful that it taught me a really important lesson about making sure that my photos are protected. So today I want to just share really briefly about the two things that I do to make sure that my photos are backed up. So just to give you a little context, I actually store my photos in Lightroom, and Lightroom is Adobe software that's designed for photo management and editing. I've done that since 2009 or 10 now, and I absolutely love it, but that's just one way to organize and manage your photos. Whatever you do, the important thing is to have your photos backed up in at least two places. And I like to have one local backup that's easy to access in case I accidentally delete a file or my computer crashes and, God forbid that I spill another soda on my laptop, which of course, hopefully will never happen again. And then I also like to have a cloud backup, something that is completely off-site, something that someone else is in charge of that has a lot of redundancy. And I want to talk about what I do for that too. So a little bit more about my scenario. I have actually all of my photos stored on an external hard drive. And that is because my laptop actually has a very, very small hard drive. I use a MacBook Air because it's really lightweight and can travel with me anywhere. And I have that attached to a giant monitor that I'm using for my day-to-day. But all my photos live on my external hard drive. And I use Apple Time Machine to back up both the small hard drive I have as well as my external drive to a second hard drive. And there's software that you can use the same thing to automatically back it up if you use a PC as well. And so that happens automatically in the background. It's constantly creating copies of my hard drive so that I can even go back in time. That's why they call it Time Machine. So if I know that everything was fine before 1 p.m. yesterday, I can revert to that state if something were to happen. So that happens completely automatically. And then for my cloud backup, I use CrashPlan. And CrashPlan similarly automatically makes a copy of my entire computer and my hard drive and sends it to the cloud. and it keeps multiple iterations, and they have their own redundant backups. So it's ultimately a very safe solution. Now, CrashPlan did take me about 6 weeks to start my initial backup, and I found it to be not too much of a bandwidth hog. Now, I will give you a story that there was another service very similar to CrashPlan that I started using in, around 2009, 2010, when I started using Lightroom. And at that time, my internet speed was really, really slow. And I had a house full of boys that were using Xbox Live. And so they were taking all of my internet, and I wasn't able to successfully use cloud backup. But today our internet is 10 times as fast as it was then. I don't have as many people to share it with, and I've had no problems with having my backups completed consistently. But that's something to keep in mind. So that's really it. Those are the two things that I do, but the bottom line here is that it's automatic. I don't need to think about it. They send me alerts if there's a problem. If I say I've accidentally disconnected one of my drives, they let me know if my external hard drive is full, such as for the Time Machine backup. So it's out of my hands. It's automatically happening so that I don't have to worry about my photos or the rest of my files. So that leads me to an important point here, is that I want to distinguish between file backup, which is intended to be used in emergencies, so that you have copies that are easily accessed or completely off-site. Let's just say if your house burned down, that you can access all of your files. And so these solutions take all of my files and put them somewhere else in that case of emergency. Now, there's so many photo sharing solutions today. Google Photos, Shutterfly, Flickr, Amazon Photos. The list is endless, but the majority of these actually do one-way transfer. So you're sending your files there, and some of them do it automatically, and some of them you have to manually select to do that, but they're not syncing. They're not making an exact copy of what's on your computer. And that's a problem for me. It's because I'm constantly deleting photos, editing photos, and I want my backup to be an actual backup of what's live on my computer, what my actual files are. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I do think that photo sharing solutions are an additional asset. I use Flickr, but to be honest, I haven't updated it in a while because I do feel so good about the backup solutions that I have. And sharing is also so much easier via other methods nowadays. So it's important to distinguish between backup as your safety net and photo sharing as a way that you share photos and maybe print them or edit them on the go. And you have to really customize the solutions to work for what you do with your pictures. So I have a couple more points to make, but I do want to draw your attention again to, if you are watching on Crowdcast, to hit that big red button and ask me any questions that you have. And if you're not watching on Crowdcast, to jump on over to hit the red button. And if you are watching the replay, I want to make sure that you jump on over to Crowdcast anyway, so that you get alerted about our future events. Again, as I said, we do Simple Scrapper Live every single week, and this is our chance to really connect and get your questions answered about all of your challenges in memory keeping. All right, so a couple other points here about backup. One of the biggest things that I commonly hear is that you have photos on so many different locations. And I have kind of a phased approach. So as you're trying to centralize your photos and manage your photo library, I recommend setting up your backup so that you have that safety net before you get started doing anything else. Particularly if you're going to be working over a long period of time. And then you can take the steps to centralize your images, get them all in one place. And I often think of this as co-locating. It doesn't mean sorting everything and perfectly organizing it. It means a folder here that's labeled, here's the photos from this external hard drive. Here's the photos from that CD that you got in the mail. Here's the photos from something else. And they're all co-located so that you can sort them later. This centralization process helps you know what you have And then your security, your safety net is even stronger because you know that it's backing up everything that's in one place. So if you are struggling with photo management and all of this sounds really exciting, but you're not really sure what to do and where to start, I want to draw your attention to the big green button here in Crowdcast, because our free Photo Crush Challenge is back. Photo Crush is your 7-day photo management challenge, and it's now available as an evergreen opportunity, meaning you can jump in anytime you want to get your photos in order. And I really think of it as an iterative process. So if you've done it once, I want to encourage you to join again so that you can improve your photo library, improve not only just the foundational structures that you have, but your workflow, so that you're getting photos into your system faster and out of it faster so that you can scrapbook it and enjoy those memories. So Photo Crush, again, it's free and it's going to be available anytime. And that means there's always going to be a community of women who are actively working with their photos so that you to connect with in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group of more than 2,000 members, and one of the things that was really important to me is try to keep that going all the time, to really be your place where you can go to ask questions about photo management, no matter what approach you use. We are completely an unbiased, agnostic system. What I do is I give you a formula, I give you a framework for taking your photos from chaos to controlled, but I'm not going to tell you necessarily how to do it. I'm going to give you options. I'm going to give you resources to help you make better decisions. And I'm going to give you a community where you can ask questions and really hone in on what works best for you. Because I don't think there's one perfect solution out there. What I use may not be best for you. And I think it's important to be really, really clear about that, is that I want you to find the solution that's your holy grail, that's your option, that's going to provide a lot of ease and peace of mind for you, because I know that those photos that you take are so precious to you and you want to do more with them. But sometimes the whole mess of taking pictures today, particularly with the quantity of pictures we're taking, is getting in the way. And so Photo Crush can help with that. And again, it's completely free. So you can access that classroom anytime, as well as connect with our private Facebook group. All right, I am going to check on the questions here. Oh, looks like we only have one question so far. Someone asked if there's a replay. The one cool thing about Crowdcast is that these are automatically recording, so the same link you use to register, you'll be able to use to watch the replay later. This is also simulcast, as I was mentioning earlier, to Facebook and YouTube. So these are really easily accessible after the fact and including immediately afterwards. You don't have to wait for me to edit and upload it or anything. All right, so if you have further questions about backing up your photos, how to organize your photos, how to get rid of duplicate photos, I want to encourage you to sign up for Photo Crush via the green link here in the Crowdcast room, and to check out the challenge. It's designed to be so doable, giving you really, really small baby steps every single day for 1 week, so that you can make progress with your photo library. And our private Facebook group is the best place to go to ask questions for the challenges that you have in photo management. Again, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Simple Scrapper Live. I will see you again next time.